Hi, child. Welcome back to Final Boss Auto Hub. And today's topic is basically if Dodge is bringing back the V8s, the legendary HEMI. And to answer that question, yeah, it seems like the HEMI is coming back, y'all. It seems like, some of the stuff that I kind of predicted in some of my earlier videos is actually coming to fruition. And let's just kind of dig right into it. There's numerous reports that since the CEO of Stellantis, Carlos Tavares, resigned, that the legendary HEMI is slated to make his return sometime this year. I mean, apparently Carlos Tavares was like the driving factor in pushing and urging the company to get rid of its HEMI V8 engines and platforms. And then now that he's gone, it seems like the engine is basically coming back. The CEO of Dodge is pushing to bring it back. That's what the rumor mills are basically stating. Uh, According to Stellantis, the base engines will basically be built on the Generation 3 architecture that was launched in 2003. And then there are rumors that the automaker will even add on larger displacement variants in its lineups.
What the fuck?
That's crazy. We got to talk more about that. A Mopar insider, basically who gave this information to Motor One, they're keeping them unnamed, basically said that Stellantis will be building the 5.7 liter and the 6.4 liter and the supercharged 6.2 liter V8 engines at their Dundee engine platform in Detroit, Michigan. And basically the 5.7 liter is slated to be released in August of some time. So that's pretty early. That's a very quick turnaround. And just to dig into it more, just to go into my opinion, basically, let's cut the lights on. Like, this is fire. I don't have to put too much fluff on this. This is fire. The combustible engines is not dead, y'all. And I know all the car heads and gearheads like myself is super excited that, ICE engines, basically combustible engines, are still being built. I mean, this is awesome. I mean, if you want to go into this more, if you watch any of my old videos, specifically this old Dodge video, I'm going to put it up somewhere up here, that I did maybe a couple months back. I kind of predicted Dodge was going to go in this route. I predicted this was going to happen to some degree. I think Dodge realized that their company was going to flop and basically start heading into the direction of where Nissan is right now, looking for another investor to keep the company afloat. And I think Dodge know that their brand was going to significantly take a hit by this super move of going EV. And let's dig into this more. Let's unpack this more. Like, there's no way you could just go cold turkey on your lineage and just stop making big engines that sound good and drive fast and sometimes drink gas. But without going with some sort of gradual progression and like downsizing the liters, maybe eventually downsizing the cylinders, and then eventually maybe try and go in turbo or hybrid at some point, and then eventually electrifying the drivetrain or having a full EV platform to release alongside of your combustible platform. I think that strategy of going straight EV without progression was clearly a design for disaster, and look where we are now. It takes a lot of work to be a CEO, especially of a big auto brand or auto umbrella that oversees many different brands. I know that's a lot of stress, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of planning. But if you're going to take over a brand such as Dodge in a different market, you got to understand the brand that you're taking over. You can't just go with going straight EV without thinking about what that means for that particular brand. And essentially, you were killing the brand. So shout outs to Tavares. I mean, I know you tried your best. I don't think you intentionally tried to kill Dodge brand, but some of the strategy that was taken was going to be heading in that direction, if you catch my drift. This is a good thing. I don't think Dodge is late at all. I think they're, moving at this rate and they're doing it at the right time. It's just the early releases of their EV Dodges, and now that they're seeing that they're not going to be selling like that, they're hurrying up and pivoting and trying to get these ICE engines out at some point over the summer, which is smart. because of the fears of the increase in emissions targets is now basically waning, especially since Trump is in office for America. His administration is basically, revoking the incentives for electric vehicles. They're rewriting fuel economy standards, and they're deregulating, excuse me, other aspects of the auto industry. So even if, how can I say, even if the industry continues to electrify by choice, right, and expand hybrid offerings and, basically going towards EV heavy, if they still doing that by choice, the thought of having a purely gas Dodge coupe with a V8 soundtrack would make the brand even more unique and highly sorted after. It would just make them different. It would make them a unique brand. So I think the CEO of Dodge is doing the right thing and hurrying up with trying to release the V8 engines again. My suggestion is to try to make them as efficient as possible. Even though how can I say, the emission standards might be changed. Like if you got to lighten up the displacements a little bit, or look into different technology to reduce the emissions, so you can make these engines last as long as possible. Because every regime is going to have a different thoughts on gas or EV. So do what you can to preserve your brand as much as possible. That would be my thoughts and my strategy with going this route. And I know I said something earlier about Dodge possibly adding a larger displacement variant to his lineups. That's overkill. Like, that's crazy. I mean, you already got the Hellcats, the Hellcat Red Eyes, the Demons. Like, that's crazy. I mean, don't get me wrong, do it.
Yeah, do it. Do it.
Do it. Don't don't pretty much trick me or threaten me with a good time with a larger displacement. Do it. I'll probably put my Dodge up here somehow. I had a Dodge Challenger. I'm a big muscle car fan. Don't let the German BMW fool you. I was a real American muscle guy. You know what I'm saying? So, but I think it's cool that Dodge is doing this again. I'm excited. I think this is the right route for them. In the meantime, continue working on that Hurricane engine. Continue trying to make your V8s as efficient as possible, and go that route. And come on, let's bring it back. Let's bring American muscle back. The only one that's still fighting the good fight was Ford. Ford was the only one that's like, hey, listen, I don't care what y'all say, we still making V8 Mustangs. Cadillac was out here like, yeah, we're gonna just start electrifying vehicles now. So I'm glad to hear that Dodge is like, nah, we're bringing back the V8s too. Let's keep this tradition going as long as we possibly can. But yeah, that was my kind of news flash or bulletin, however you want to phrase it, for today. Comment and tell me what you think. Tell me if you agree or disagree. I'm ready to have a debate, man. You know what I'm saying? Let me know. Final Boss out.